Alright, what's up everybody? We're back with another edition of Everyday Hoops. Hope you guys are having a good one. Today, I'm going to be talking in this video about Zach Lavine. There's been reports the past few days that his time in Chicago could be up with the Bulls not looking great. Right now, we're going to talk about the Bulls, we're talking about Zach Lavine, potential trade candidates for him, and all the stuff surrounding that. Thank you guys for the views on the videos and the shorts recently. I really appreciate it. If you do like the content around here, consider subscribing, like, turn notifications, do all stuff like that. I really appreciate it. Really helps out a lot. And yeah, don't waste any more of your time. Let's get right into it. So a few days ago, this started. Shams Charania, of course. He tweeted out and talked about. The quote said, or the tweet said, developing NBA teams are probing the availability of Bulls two-time All-Star Zach Lavine, and there's increased openness from both sides about exploring the trade. So that came out, and now all the things coming out around the Chicago Bulls. A lot of tweets. Darnell Mayberry, NBA Central, they said, one league source told me this week the Bulls won't have the same roster in a month. Change feels imminent in Chicago. Yeah, there's also a report Shams also said about DeMar DeRozan, saying DeMar wants to see where the team goes before committing to a new contract extension with them, and just a lot of stuff surrounding the Bulls. Actually, of course, we knew kind of coming into this season that the Bulls weren't going to be good. They had this kind of false hope a few years ago. They're the number one seed in the Eastern Conference, and they look really bright. But since then, injuries have happened, and just the team kind of came back down to earth. And we see this year so far, that this team isn't going anywhere. At the best, this is like a 9 seed in the Eastern Conference, and that's not something you want to just keep sustaining. I don't know how it gets better or worse from here. So a lot of people want the Bulls. I want the Bulls to just trade everybody and just blow this up. This should be what happens. And now it's coming earlier than expected. I thought, the Bulls are definitely going to play out the entire year. I honestly, it's still not even imminent that these trades do happen. I could definitely see a world where the Bulls just keep this throughout the entire year, and in the offseason they figure things out. But the big forefront of this video and all stuff is Zach Lavine potentially being open to a trade and him not being on the Bulls anymore. Lavine, of course, in Chicago has blossomed into an all-star. He's two-time all-star, 25 plus or 24 plus points per game guy, all-star level talent, obviously. Not having a great year this year. So far this season, in 11 games, he's averaging his worst numbers since 2018. And in 2018, that was the year his first year in Chicago, when he only played 24 games coming off the ACL injury. He's averaging 22 points, which is at least since 2018. His shooting numbers, 41% from the field, worse since 2018. Three-point shooting, 31%, his worst ever. His worst ever three-point shooting season. And he's taking over 7 a game, only shooting 31%. Not having a great year, Lavine. He did have that 151-point game against the Pistons, but since then he hasn't really done much. And the Bulls right now are not great. This team is 4-7. They're 12th in the Eastern Conference right now. Again, Lavine's not the only one that could be on the trade block. DeMar DeRozan, who was on the last year of his contract, Alex Caruso, also is a guy that has been talked about a lot in trades. And just the Bulls need to blow this up. But the main kind of piece that a lot of people are looking at is Zach Lavine, because he is an all-star like talent. And yeah, he's a really, really good player. He could score. He's a guard that can handle the ball as well. His passing has gotten better. He can score the ball from all 3 levels. He's really good. And he's still 28 years old. He does have a big contract on him, though. So last offseason, not this past offseason, this just happened. The last offseason, he signed a 5-year deal with the Chicago Bulls. So he's getting paid $40 million this season. Next year, he's getting paid $43 million, and then 2026 is getting paid almost $46 million. And then in 2027, when he's 31 years old, he has a $48.9 million player option. So whoever does trade for Zach Lavine is going to have to commit to him. He's still got 3 years, maybe 4 if he takes a player option on that contract, and he'll be 31 at that point when he enters free agency, or 32. So they're going to have to really commit to Zach Lavine and really think Zach Lavine is the piece that brings them to the next level in order to trade for Zach. Because it's not like it's DeMar DeRozan when he's in the last year of his contract. If you trade for DeRozan, it doesn't work out, he could just go. But Lavine, that's different. You're going to have to pay him, and not just have him around for a few years, pay him a lot of money. 40, 43, 46, 48 if he takes that player option, which he probably will. That's a lot of money. So what are some potential teams that could take Zach Lavine? Team that's been talked about a lot: Philadelphia 76ers, Right now they're 8-2. They have a lot of money after the James Harden trade. They have a lot of cap space open for this, not only for this year, but for next season, in this offseason as well. Of course, they do have Tyrese Maxey, who they're going to have to pay, but even if you pay Tyrese Maxey his money, you're still going to have a lot of money to sign some other players. Now, this one has been a very back and forth one, because at first, when it first started and this came up, I was like, you know what, that wouldn't be bad. But looking at it more and more, I don't know if I love Zach Lavine in Philadelphia. One, the Sixers are playing so good right now with with less than what they usually had. Tyrese Maxey is becoming an all-star-like player, and I don't know if you want to bring Zach Lavine in where Zach Lavine's going to take some shots away from Tyrese Maxey. He's going to take some away, honestly. Even though Tyrese is young and they want to build more around Tyrese, maybe. Zach Lavine, at the end of the day, is going to take a shot. Zach Lavine is a guy that's going to have to demand or going to have to take some shots. I mean, he's a 20-something point per game scorer. You know, he's not a dude that does it on, like, little shot attempts. Like, he averages, the last few years since he's become a star, he's averaging around 18 to 20 shots a game. So he's going to need his shots, and especially his three-point as well. He takes a lot of threes as well. So he's going to need his shots. He's going to need the ball in his hands. He's not really a off-ball, catch-and-shoot guy, even though it would be great if he could turn it to that. But for right now, that's not who he is. So he needs the ball in his hands. And Philly, the way they're playing right now with the Tyrese and Joel Embiid duo, with Tobias, with, you know, D'Anthony Melton, with everybody kind of playing in their own role right now, I wouldn't break up that team right now to go get Zach Lavine. I don't know if Zach Lavine's the right guy. And, again, if it doesn't work out, they're still going to have 3 years of Zach Lavine with $40 million on the table. So if he comes into Philly and it doesn't fit or doesn't work with Tyrese and Joel, then, you know, I don't know. It's not bad at all. It's not like horrible fit. It wouldn't be the move I would make if I was Philly. It wouldn't be the move I would make. And even having to give up for Zach Lavine, you're probably going to take the players you got in the James Harden trade and flip them for Lavine. That probably makes money work, and maybe throw in someone else. I don't know. But, yeah, for the Bulls, I don't know how much they would love that offer. I mean, they will probably get some picks from the James Harden trade that the Sixers got. So, I don't know if they found those a lot valuable. With how the Clippers look, maybe they do. But I just don't know about Zach Lavine in Philly, you know. Another team that's been talked about a lot is the LA Lakers, because it's the Lakers, obviously. Shams also talked about these three teams, the Sixers, Lakers, and the other team we'll talk about after. The LA Lakers, right now, they don't look as amazing as we thought they were. Now they have 1-2 in a row. They're 6-5 now. But they just haven't looked as great or as much as contenders as we thought they were going to look. Austin Reeves, the guy who was supposed to be the third guy solidified on this team, hasn't really taken that step to be the third guy. A lot of the role players and guys that they signed in the offseason they thought were going to make a big difference haven't really made a big difference yet. And now there's a lot of talk around LA is, should they go out and get the third star again like they did with Russell Westbrook a few years ago? Only Zach Lavine is a lot different than Russell Westbrook. But a lot of things are talking about Zach Lavine or DeMar DeRozan, but Zach Lavine also has been a name. Thinking about a trade for the Lakers for Zach Lavine, it'll be tough. They do have D'Lo. I don't know, do you give up Austin Reeves in this trade? You know, money reasons. They don't have, after LeBron and AD, they don't have a lot of players that make a lot of money. Like D'Lo probably makes like 18, 19. Reeves makes like 15. Gabe Vince makes like 11. After that, they don't really have any like $25 million contract besides LeBron and AD. So to get Zach Lavine, you're gonna have to give up a lot of your depth. D'Lo, Rui maybe, like stuff like that. I don't know contractually right now in my head how that works, but you might have to give up like 3 players for Zach Lavine. And they're going to go do what they did a few years ago, the star chase. They chase the stars, get a big 3 together, and just try to make it work. Lavine went to UCLA, so he has a little connection there. Lavine with the Lakers would be all right. I don't know how much I do love it for the Lakers, but to be honest with you, if this continues on and the role players for the Lakers don't really show up and they don't look like a contending team, I wouldn't mind it. The only thing, again, is the contract. You're going to have AD just got the biggest extension in history. You got Zach Lavine making $40+ million for the next 3 years. And LeBron is on the last year of his deal. We don't know if he's going to come back. He might come back. But even if he doesn't, you have AD and Lavine that you're building around. Those two bring a lot of money, and they're 28 and AD's 30 now. Lavine's 28. He'll be 29 at the end of the year. So do you really want to build a new Lakers team around Zach Lavine and Anthony Davis? I don't know how much of a contending team that is, you know? But, I mean, the Lakers isn't a horrible option for Lavine as well. Especially, again, if this continues and they're like an okay 500-ish team by the trade deadline and they just need a spark and the guys they thought were going to be the guys aren't being the guys, then maybe. But again, any team that just traded for Zach Lavine, it's going to be like, you're going to have to commit. You're going to have to commit to it and think, all right, this is the guy that takes us to the next level. And the third team Shams talked about was the Miami Heat. The Heat, obviously, they missed out on a few guys in the past few years. They missed out on Bradley Beal and Damian Lillard this offseason. After making it to the finals last year, and one big thing is their offense. They don't really have a lot of offensive punch. And now with Tyler Hero being out for the next few weeks, it doesn't matter right now because they're on a 6-game win streak, I guess. So I guess they don't need Tyler Hero right now. But of course, the thing that's always going to be the thing to stop the Heat is the offense. Can they consistently put up enough points? Because their defense is top tier. You know, their coaching is top tier. They had Max Strus and Gabe Vincent look like stars. And Caleb Martin look like stars in the playoffs because Eric Spoelstra's just a great coach. But can that last? Can you really rely on that through an entire playoff run? They made it all the way to the finals last year, but you saw what ended. And at this point, they made it to the finals 2 years and made the conference finals, the last 3 of the last 4 years, I think they've been in the conference finals. So at this point, it's like, all right, we have the conference finals appearance, we have the finals appearance. Their goals isn't just to magically make it to a finals appearance again. You know, they want to be solidified in there, and they want to win a championship. That's what it is with Miami, especially with an aging Jimmy Butler. Like, the time is now for Miami. So is Zach Lavine the guy? Is Zach Lavine the guy that brings Miami to the next level? I don't know. I think he'll be a help, but I don't think Zach Lavine's the game changer where it's like he takes Miami to the next level. Like Damian Lillard would have took Miami to the next level. Zach Lavine is really good, but I don't know if he's on that Damian Lillard level of he comes in and he changes your team like that. You know, obviously he's going to help. He's an all-star level player. He's bringing you 23, 24 points per game on his best, 25. He already had 27 a game. Like, we know he can do. But is he really changing that much about Miami? I don't know. And think about the package. Kyle Lowry probably be in it. I don't think... is a team with Tyler Hero and Zach Lavine as your guards, like, how great is that team? Especially defensively, because Zach Lavine is not a great defender. You know, Tyler Hero isn't either, even though he tries to be. With Eric Spoelstra, Eric Spoelstra maybe can hide it, but I don't know about that as your backcourt. Zach Lavine and Tyler Hero. Even though Tyler Hero's been amazing this season, but I just don't know how great that is, you know. So those 3 teams are interesting things. It's just I'm not really super sure. Zach Lavine's, again, a very tough player to put, just mainly because of the contract. Like, if he was getting paid, I'd have like $10 million less, maybe it's a little bit of an option, but you're paying Zach Lavine $40 million for the next 3 years. Like, if you're trading for Zach Lavine, you have to think, all right, for sure, this is the guy. We trusted him. This is the guy that's going to bring us to the next level where we want to go. You know, that's a big commitment for him. For him. So, yeah, other teams that maybe could be involved. Trying to think of some teams and looking at some teams. There's been some things looking on what people think about trades and stuff. Like, been some teams that aren't playoff teams, aren't top tier teams like the Lakers and the Sixers and stuff that have maybe thrown their hat. Teams like the Charlotte Hornets, the Detroit Pistons. I don't know how much they really want to invest in Zach Lavine with all that money, even though they are going to have cap space because all they have is rookies. But do they think a 28-year-old Zach Lavine is going to come in and turn his team into a playoff team? Like, if Zach Lavine goes to Charlotte, how much does that improve Charlotte's ceiling? It does a little bit, but it doesn't improve Charlotte's ceiling enough where it's like, oh yeah, this Hornets team, I like this. Maybe if Brandon Miller does develop as well, then maybe you got something there. But I don't know how much Zach Lavine really raises Charlotte up to a point where it's like super significant. You know, and make them a lot better, obviously. But also, Charlotte might have to give up a lot of their stuff too, because Charlotte doesn't have a lot of big contracts. You know, Detroit as well, even though they're really, really struggling right now. Again, Zach Lavine goes to Detroit. he's gonna go get buckets over there. But it's like, how much does that really raise Detroit up? And does Detroit want to invest $40 million in a 28-year-old when they have all their core players that are going to be up for extensions are like 21, 22, Kay Cunningham, Jalen Duren, Asar, guys like that, or teams like that, Looking around at other teams potentially that can make a move there, the Sacramento Kings are a team I thought of. You are going to have to give up some of your guys like Harrison Barnes and Kevin Huerter and that to make a move like that. And De'Aaron and Zach Lavine that's a lot of buckets in the backcourt. But I don't know how much Sacramento really wants to jump the gun. And is Zach Lavine really the guy that takes Sacramento to the next level? Again, Sacramento has a chance maybe to make some big moves later down the line with all their young players and stuff like that. But is Zach Lavine the move? Is Zach Lavine the move that's like, okay, this is the final piece. Now we can assert ourselves in there. He'll help, but I don't know if the Kings want to risk that much. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. It's like maybe the Knicks, maybe. Can the Knicks do it? I don't really know. It's really tough to think about a Zach Lavine trade, mainly because of the money. Like I've said so many times already in this video, committing $40 million plus for the next 3, maybe 4 years to Zach Lavine, who is 28, and by the end of his contract will be 31. Like, I don't, it's tough. It is tough. Someone's going to take the risk, though. Someone's going to be the team to do it. And I don't know what team it's going to be, but they better hope that it pays out, which it could. I feel like I've said a lot of this seems like disrespect to Zach Lavine. Zach Lavine's amazing. Again, Zach Lavine's a really, really good player, man. When he's on, he's easy. He's an easy 28 to 33 points a night like that. Like when he's on, Zach Lavine can give you 35 points and hit 8 threes in a game and just dominate. We saw earlier this year that 51-point game against Detroit. Like he can ball. He can ball, no question, for sure. Really, yeah. The only really thing that kind of turns you off on a Zach Lavine trade is the money. Like the money is crazy, and he's 28 years old, and he's not having a great year this year. He's shooting the worst. He's having one of the worst years since he's been, this level of player. So yeah. But all this to say, I hope the Bulls do make a move. I hope they trade Zach Lavine. I hope they trade DeMar DeRozan. I hope they just blow this all up and restart again, even though it sucked for Bulls fans because they've gone through so much to get like a half a year of being really, really good number 1 seed, and then it all crumbled back down, which really sucks. But I think they realize this is the move they have to make. This is what they have to do, because keeping this around it's just not gonna work, and they're gonna figure that out. And I think they're already figuring it out that it's not working right now. DeMar could get traded too. I really want to see where DeMar would go if he does get traded, because he's on last year's contract, and he'd probably be more likely to get traded because he can just walk, and then it's like, well, we just gave him an all-star player and we didn't get nothing in return. Alex Caruso as well, he's a guy that can really fit anywhere, can help any team right now. Yeah, man, the Bulls gotta blow it up, but we'll see what happens with Zach Lavine. I don't know if this is gonna happen very soon, or if it's gonna happen like now-ish. Obviously, probably will wait a little while, but I just hope it happens, and I really want to see what team takes the chance with Zach Lavine. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, if you enjoyed the content, consider subscribing, like, turn notifications on, stuff like that. I really appreciate it. Really helps out a lot. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.